Episode 5 Why Starting Now Actually Matters. Your brain chooses familiarity, not pleasure. Hello, this is Dr. Yoshi. Thank you for coming back to Rewire Lab. If you're listening while doing something else, driving, walking, scrolling, just for a moment, take a slow breath in and let your shoulders relax a little. This is not a place to fix yourself, not a place to push harder. This is a space to let your nervous system rest and to think again. Recap of Episode 4. Before we go further, let's anchor what we explored previously. Life doesn't change because of talent. It's not intelligence, not confidence, not willpower. What actually creates difference is timing. Specifically, how long the brain waits between a thought and its first contact with reality. Most hesitation is not weakness. It's a healthy brain doing its primary job, prioritizing safety. But the brain does not learn by thinking longer. It learns when prediction meets reality. Action is not proof of talent. Action is data. And people who change their lives aren't braver. They simply allow the brain to receive feedback sooner. The familiar night scene. Now, I want to talk about a misunderstanding most people carry for decades. Just for a moment, imagine this. It's night. There was something you meant to do today, and once again, it didn't happen. You put the phone down, turn off the lights, and just before sleep, the familiar thoughts arrive. Maybe I just don't have enough motivation. Maybe I'm not ready yet. I'll start when I feel aligned. But what if all of that is a misinterpretation? What if the reason you're not moving has nothing to do with laziness, fear, or weak willpower? That's what today is about. Here's the conclusion up front. The brain does not move toward pleasure. It moves toward familiarity. Why change feels hard, but isn't personal? Most people believe they can't change because of certain emotions, because they're afraid, because they're anxious, because they lack confidence. But neuroscience shows something different. People don't stop because they're scared. They stop because things are too comfortable. And by comfortable, I don't mean happy or fulfilled. I mean, you don't have to think. You don't have to decide. You don't have to risk failure. You don't have to spend energy. To the brain, this is an optimized state. Even if part of you feels dissatisfied, even if it's painful, if it's predictable, the brain labels it as safe. So, the brain chooses familiar discomfort over unfamiliar pleasure. This is not a character flaw. It's biology. In fact, neuroscience shows that when behavior becomes habitual, activity in the prefrontal cortex decreases, and control shifts to the basal ganglia, the brain's automatic system. Graybill, 2008. This is what learning stopped looks like in neurologically. Comfort is not neutral. To the brain, it means no update required. And over time, plasticity fades, not loudly, but silently. Why the brain is designed this way. A little science, nothing painful. The brain may feel like it's imagining the future, but in reality, it's running on past statistics, aka memories. This principle is known as predictive processing, Friston, 2010. At an unconscious level, the brain is always asking, can I predict this? Is this within expectations? Do I need to correct anything? Can I minimize energy usage? Predictable means fewer errors. Fewer errors mean no correction. No correction means efficiency. So the equation becomes familiar equals efficient. Efficient equals survival friendly. This happens before conscious thought appears, which is why the moment a new behavior shows up, the brain reacts instantly. This is foreign, unknown, unpredictable, unclassified. The amygdala activates. And remember, the amygdala does not evaluate truth. It asks only one question. Is this safe? Ledoux, 1996. So you feel unease, restlessness, resistance without explanation. Most people interpret this as a warning. Neurologically, it is an invitation. Why starting now is neurological timing. Now, the most important part. Imagine you are trying something new for the first time. That moment of discomfort, the hesitation, the internal friction, a sense of something's off. Most people stop here. This doesn't feel right. I should wait. Now isn't the time. But neurologically, that's backward. That moment of discomfort is when an old neural circuit briefly surfaces. Research on memory reconsolidation shows that neural patterns can only be rewritten while they are active. Nader et al., 2000. If you don't act in that window, the emotion sinks, the circuit stabilizes, and the brain learns. This new input wasn't necessary. So, starting now is not courage, not discipline. It's a technical decision. You don't need a big move. You don't need perfection. Just something small. That step becomes the brain's first new piece of evidence. Life doesn't change after you feel good. It doesn't change after confidence appears. It changes when the brain briefly touches the unfamiliar. That moment is now. Episode 5, Summary. Why starting now actually matters. Today's episode explored why change feels difficult even when motivation is high. It's not because you're afraid. It's not because you're lazy. The brain resists change for a much simpler reason. Your brain is designed to prioritize familiarity. Familiar patterns cost less energy. They feel safer to the nervous system. Even when a new action is ideal, even when it's aligned, to the brain, it is still unfamiliar. This episode showed that discomfort is not a warning sign. It is a signal that prediction and reality are briefly out of sync. And in neuroscience, that moment is where updating becomes possible. Using predictive processing and memory reconsolidation, we saw that change does not require courage. It requires timing. Small action at the exact moment of resistance is how the brain rewires itself. Starting now is not about force. It's about meeting the brain while the window is open. Coming up next. In the next episode, we go deeper into what reprogramming actually means. Reprogramming is not about changing who you are. It is the careful process of updating old reaction patterns your brain automatically repeats. Instead of avoiding discomfort, you'll learn how to observe it, acknowledge it, and then make your next choice immediately. Not perfectly, not forcefully, but consistently, at a pace that does not exhaust your nervous system. Simply by doing this, your brain rewrites itself. If something in you softened while listening, that is more than enough. In this space, we value depth over speed. So please, before you leave here, take a moment to settle your breathing. I'll see you in the next episode. This is Dr. Yoshi. Until next time, change and rewire your brain. Change your life.